Yeah, no, I'd fucking. Do you ever cry at movies?
Yeah, I used to. There was a gap between when I was 9 and when I was 18 where I just didn't cry. And I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
where some people would be
Yeah.
like, some guys would be like, yeah, no, I never cry. And then you'd be like, well, I don't want to sound like that asshole.
Hey, that's me. I'm that asshole.
Three tears? What the
So yeah, I don't really cry at the movies. I promise I'm not a sociopath or anything. I do cry, but those tears never really come out while I watch entertainment. Consequently, I end up having this streak of never crying at the movies. I've never flexed it though. Honestly, I'm jealous of others who have that superpower. When you cry during a movie, you have something physical to show for your emotional reaction. Me, I just have stupid Twitter post reviews filled with GIFs. So, since I clearly have no experience in the crying at the movies profession, why am I making this video? Why am I clickbaiting you with a picture of Shia LaBeouf and some simple Josephine Sands text? Well, cause that streak broke. About a few months ago, I watched this movie, and for the first time in my life, while a film was running in my eyeline, a tear slid down my cheek and onto my keyboard. No, it wasn't a full sob fest, but it was still something. Something I'd never experienced before. So over these past couple months, that big question kept popping in my head. Why do people cry at the movies? What causes a set of moving pictures to draw droplets from our eyes? I went all Charlie Day on this crap and took apart the science of it, looked at popular crybait movies, and finally attempted to figure out how this one brilliant film was able to accomplish the impossible task. And what was the result of my mania? This one dumb video. Hey there, buddies! It's me, the science kid. I love science. Oh God, I'm gonna kill myself. So what causes people to cry specifically while watching entertainment? What's the science behind it? Well, let's go back to biology, my least favorite class from high school. Specifically, let's go to a study done by Dr. Paul J. Zak. Our brains contain a neuropeptide called oxytocin, commonly known for modulating empathy by engaging our brain circuits to make us care or trust in others, real or even fictional. In the study, Dr. Zak shows one sample set of subjects a scene in which a kid and his father go to a zoo, while the other sample is shown a scene in which the father discusses his son's terminal brain cancer. Those who saw the highly emotional part of the video had a 47% increase in oxytocin as measured in blood, thus showing that the sad sob fest scene is what succeeds in increasing our empathy levels by almost 50%. So we may cry at the movies because the oxytocin in the human brain is imperfectly tuned, as it does not differentiate between actual human beings and flickering images of human beings. However, this study also shows that we can reverse these findings and use empathy as a metric for whether or not a scene is enough to be a sob fest. Thanks for the findings, Dr. Zak. But this still doesn't answer the question of what this scene specifically did to increase those levels. However, I don't think biology can answer that question. Instead, let's look at... Just for an example, let's tackle the ending to Toy Story 3, a very popular scene people sob at. In this scene, as Andy gives his toys to Bonnie, he's hesitant about giving away Woody, his childhood plaything. But after reminiscing on the good times, he gives him away and moves on. So why does this jerk tears out of so many adults' eyes? In my opinion, it comes down to relatability. It's easier to show empathy for someone we relate to. Almost every adult has gone through something like Andy, distancing yourself from the past but still clinging on from a distance. But after some time, we choose to make the hard and often right decision and move on, while still keeping the memories warm in our heart. I think we empathize with Andy because we're just like him, and that's enough to draw out some of those tears. Now let's look at a completely different form of entertainment: television. The Office is a show that ran from 2005 to 2013. The show is commonly said to have been on the decline for seasons 8 and 9. However, the finale for the show is popularly known for tugging out some of those droplets. Why? Well, I think the answer to this one is actually pretty clear. It's time. Some of us have been with these characters since our childhood, and now finally seeing them end after every adventure, every mishap, every tragedy, every monumental event in their lives, their character arcs are being put to rest, and so are our experiences with them. When creating a finale for the character, you get the bonus of crafting the end for your audience of dedicated fans. That's why Return of the King makes people cry constantly. That's why when I looked to my left in the theater during Iron Man's death, almost everyone in my row was sobbing up. And that's also why this nice, small ending of the cast, spending time with each other in the workplace it all started in, serves as the final ribbon in this gem of a finale as it passes through the faucet tap of tears. Alright, fine, enough dilly-dallying around. I'll finally reveal what movie made me tear up. A movie I love with all my heart. It's... I really, really love this movie. It's my favorite production by Fox Searchlight, my favorite Taika film, and somewhere in my top 5 films of all time. The film has a masterfully crafted script, brilliant cinematography, wonderful comedy, and a heartfelt theme of love. But I don't need to tell you that. Any reviewer could tell you that. I just want to talk about the crybaby stuff. Spoilers, by the way. Everyone knows the one tearjerker scene, the heartbreaker, the red shoes. The scene's a surprise, but not necessarily a welcome one. Rather, it's one of, if not the most tragic death in all of cinema. I did not cry during this scene. The scene in which ScarJo, acting as Jojo's father, tells him that his mother is doing all she can. Another awing, touching scene. I did not cry here either. The scene in which the captain saves Jojo and embraces his death. Such a tragic and heartbreaking scene. Nope. Not that one. I cried during a scene that's a somewhat reasonable pick, but at the same time not everyone's first choice. A scene that's so simple, but I derive so much meaning from. The ending. Maybe my favorite scene of all time. I spent this entire video breaking down these works of art and their complexities, so what's deep about these 20 seconds? Well, not much really. It's just 2 symmetrical medium shots flipping back and forth as our character starts dancing and the background music intensifies. After a final smile from our protagonist, the camera cuts to black and we're done. And that's enough to make a stone wall like me cry? I mean, there are some deeper messages that I think can be derived from a scene like this. We know that during these dark times, it was her mother that kept up a lively spirit in the magic of dance. This dance, in a way, can be honoring her memory. Also, Elsa dancing in public is representative of her newfound freedom, no longer hiding in the cupboard, expressing herself to the world. Even the lyrics to David Bowie's Heroes playing in the background, "I wish you could swim like the dolphins can," invokes an image of simple freedom, a wide open ocean to live in without restraints, just traveling around with each other. All of these are valid enough reasons to make people cry. I think for me though, it was a combination of all of this. But most importantly, it was merely the fact that after everything I just saw Jojo and Elsa go through, a grenade to the face, hallucinations of a dictator, hiding from the world, the death of their mother, a full siege of their city, and the sacrifice of a good friend, they both finally made it. After a journey through which I would have died 10 times over, they made it, and now they're free. Just seeing them both dance, finally happy, was enough to push me over the edge and let a drop slide down my cheek. So yes, I'm a crybaby, but what's the point? Whether it be among men or women, crying at the movies has been looked down upon in some of our cultures. I myself grew up considering it a sign of weakness. In my mind, only over-emotional buffoons would shed tears for fictional characters. But as I grew up, I realized that mindset's really just a load of bull. Crying can be considered a reflection of your personal views of a film, and letting your tears loose can improve the overall movie-going experience. If you're a guy or gal out there hesitant to do so yourself due to the fear of social consequences, hey, I was just like you too. And trust me, you will be better off for it. As Victor Hugo once put it, those who do not weep do not see. So go see, go weep, go laugh, go cry. Don't despair, embrace it. It'll help you in the long run. As for me, well, I guess I'm not the asshole anymore, right?
Asshole.